What's good, y'all? What's happening? Burb Jones 345. Welcome to the podcast. It is July 29th. We are here on a Tuesday at 12:23 a.m. This is a night podcast. Thanks everybody that has been listening to the audio. We have like 54 downloads now of the podcast from Buzzsprout. Here's all your information if you are watching it watching the video right now. And here is all the information you need to download the audio version for all of your audio needs. If you are not a video person, some people prefer the audio, for the car ride or for their exercise at the gym, however you want it. These are the platforms that contain all of the audio: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Index, and a lot more. You can see them all by just going to that website. What's happening? Bird Jones, three, four of them. Good to see you. Good to see you. Like I said, man, it's late here. It's 12:23 a.m. I'm doing the podcast now because I tend to be a little bit busier in the morning. Also, in the mornings, um, it's hot. And so it's been like 90 degrees here. And so doing the podcast at night provides a little bit more cooler environment to do it in. And so I'm not sitting in front of this camera sweating to death because, boy, it was 90 degrees uh, today. And so doing it at night, you get, I'm not sweating, I'm more comfortable. And so that was the plan today. I'm not going to talk you to death. We're going to get right to it. We got some football here, and then we got a little bit of basketball, and then some baseball. So we got all three sports today. We're going to run down, and then we're going to get out of here. So, first of all, you like my new decor? For the people watching on video, how about my new decorations, man? I mean, they're not new, but I got the on-air sign back there in the TikTok shop. I got my little Colts, which isn't new, but I got my Colts clock. Just trying to build up the background for the visuals. So you might see some things added in the background or whatnot. Just trying to make it more appealing to the eye. To the eye. Man, I tell you. Okay, let's run through some things for NFL here. Again, thank you for watching. You can see the Buzzsprout link down below. On X, it's Burb Jones. I added my YouTube page in the top corner there. If you look up at the top left, you see YouTube. That's the YouTube address. The full episodes are on YouTube. On TikTok and X, you'll just see short snippets. The whole episode without stopping is on YouTube. And the audio is on Buzzsprout. Shemar Stewart has returned to the Bengals and said that there's no bad blood in the Bengals. Remember, Shemar Stewart refused to sign his rookie contract. He said there was some wording in the contract, and the wording was that if he did anything, if he got suspended or if he did anything out in public or was negative or reprehensible to the team, to bring bad media to the team, or if he got suspended, that they could void some of his money, which is weird. I've never heard that before. I guess that's a thing. I've never heard that before. But the Bengals wrote in the contract that if Shemar Stewart gets in trouble, they can void his money, some of his money. I don't know what the exact amount was. And so that's why he didn't sign the contract. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have signed that contract either. Now, the thing that sticks out for me is that why, as the Bengals writing up this contract, that that makes me think that they are expecting Shemar Stewart to do something negative or to do something that could harm the team's reputation. It sounds like to me that they were expecting it. You're going to put in your rookie's contract that you drafted in the first round. If you do anything wrong, you're going to lose money. Why would you put? I mean, I understand why, but That's bad morale. Why would you put that in there and make it seem like he's that type of person? You are painting a picture of Shemar Stewart that he's the type of person that gets in trouble. And I don't, as Shemar Stewart, I can understand not wanting to seem like that type of person. Also, you know, I wouldn't want my money suddenly taken away if something like that were to happen. Now, they did come to an agreement, and the contract they agreed on was 18.97 million, with a 10 fully guaranteed with a 10.4 million signing bonus. And apparently they had to raise the amount on the signing bonus to get him to agree. Now they did not remove the clause, so keep that in mind. The Bengals did not remove the clause. Shemar agreed to it because they gave him more money up front. So I mean, $10 million up front. Hell, I'd agree to it too, I guess. $10 million in your face, sign this right now, and just don't get in trouble. Sounds easy. Just play football, don't get in trouble. Here's $10 million. I'm probably gonna put ink to paper in that as well. Shemar has come out and said to the media that there's no bad blood. He's ready to practice. He had missed a few practices during his little mini holdout he had here. It is all over. He said he's putting it behind him. Zach Taylor said he's putting it behind him. There's no bad feelings in between them. I will I will point out that during his 3 years with the Aggies, Shemar only had 4.5 sacks. I already pointed this out when he was drafted on another podcast episode, and so Stewart doesn't believe that the contract dispute will put any pressure on him, and he believes he can perform. But 4.5 sacks in 3 years, that's 1 sack a year. That's like 1.7 sacks or something. I don't know, 1.8 sacks a year. So it's not even 2 sacks a year he was getting. They drafted him as a pass rusher, and I'm guessing they also drafted him as a pass rusher for a safety net in case Trey Hendrickson doesn't resign, which I'm assuming they'll work out something with Trey Hendrickson. But Shemar Stewart and the Bengals are okay, and he is back to practice, and that is the end of that drama. Next, to move on, Cowboys fans telling Jerry Jones at a press conference he needs to pay Micah. And the Cowboys are going to pay Micah. I don't think that's a mystery. I don't think anybody is actually sitting here wondering if Micah Parsons is going to get paid. Micah Parsons is going to get paid. Here's why I'm bringing this up. Micah Parsons is about to get paid the most money of a defensive player ever in history. And I'm just, I just keep running through my head, is Micah Parsons currently, right now, the best defensive player in football? Because he's expecting to be paid like it, and Dallas is probably going to pay him like it. So while I was thinking about this, I put up some statistics of Micah Parsons compared to the other three best pass rushers in football, just to compare some stats to see if Micah Parsons is the best pass rusher in football. So the first comparison I have here is to Trey Hendrickson. Now keep in mind the amount of games played here. All these other guys have played more games than Micah, but Micah has played 63 games. Trey Hendrickson 110. So that's double. So we're just going to pretend Trey Hendrickson has played, and he has played double the time. Parsons 4 years, Hendrickson 8 years. That's double, literally. So double the career. Parsons already has more tackles than Trey Hendrickson, playing half the career. Sacks, Hendrickson has 77. Micah Parsons has 52 and a half, playing half the career. They both have no interceptions. Trey Hendrickson has 14 forced fumbles. Micah Parsons has 9 in half the career. On paper, Micah Parsons is better than Trey Hendrickson, and that's just the numbers speak for themselves here. In 8 years, Micah Parsons will surpass all of these numbers. He is better than Trey Hendrickson. Not taking anything away from Trey Hendrickson. I know Bengals fans might bust a gut, but Trey's been in the league twice as long, and Micah is catching his numbers. Um, Myles Garrett also has been in the league 8 years. So I compared it to his time to Myles Garrett, I believe 8 years. The games played is doubled. So double the games played, 63 to 117. Myles Garrett does have more tackles. It's not like Hendrickson. Myles Garrett does have more tackles than Micah Parsons, about double the tackles. So double the career, double the tackles. Myles Garrett has 102.5 tackles. Micah Parsons 52.5 tackles. That's almost double, which makes sense. A lot better numbers than what Hendrickson had. No interceptions for either. Forced fumbles 20 for Myles Garrett. Forced fumbles 9 for Micah Parsons. That's basically double. He has 11 more. So I think that Micah in 4 more years will probably have close to 20 forced fumbles. Fumble recovery 6 for Garrett, 4 for Parsons. Parsons is going to pass that most likely the next 4 years. He's going to have more than 6 fumble recoveries. This, to me, on paper here, is about an even matchup. I was very confident in saying that Micah Parsons was better than Trey Hendrickson. I think that he's right now even with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett just won Defensive Player of the Year as he should, and I can't put Micah Parsons out in front of him. They're both of equal defensive talent, in my opinion, at least right now. Micah Parsons and T.J. Watt. Now here we go with some different numbers. Micah Parsons and T.J. Watt. Um, T.J. Watt has been in the league. What was it? Is it 8 years too? T.J. Watt has been in the draft in 2017. 2017 is so he's 8 years. Also 8 years. So double. So T.J. Watt has played 121 games. Michael Parsons 63 games. T.J. Watt has 462 combined tackles. 462. This is the most out of anybody that we have talked about. He's almost doubled Micah Parsons' combined tackles. 462 versus 256. So, that's about even, considering that he's played twice as long. Sacks. TJ Watt has 108 sacks. Micah Parsons has 52. So, again, TJ Watt has more than doubled Micah Parsons' sacks. 108 is more than double 52 and a half. That's 105. So TJ Watt has more than double of the sacks of Micah Parsons. Now here's where it gets really interesting. TJ Watt has 7 interceptions. Micah Parsons has 0. So TJ Watt has picked off 7 passes. TJ Watt has this number is wild. TJ Watt has 33 forced fumbles. 33. This man is a forced fumbling king. Micah Parsons with 9. This is double the playing years. So if we double Michael Parsons' number, that'll be 18, which is TJ Watt is just blowing him out of the water with forced fumbles and 12 fumble recoveries to Micah Parsons' 4. So in this situation against TJ Watt right now is better than Micah Parsons. And that's just the bottom line. Micah Parsons is still, I would have to put him at between second and third best pass rusher in the NFL. TJ Watt is the best pass rusher in the NFL. And boy, some of these numbers make it look like it's not even close. But Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett can come in at 2 or 3, however you want to flip flop them. Now let's consider that Myles Garrett just won Defensive Player of the Year. And then I think Hendrickson would be at the bottom of that list, even though he is still awesome. I think he would be at the bottom of that list. What was the point of this comparison? Because Michael Parsons is about to get paid more money than all of these guys. And so I just wanted to compare them to show you that there is at least one of them he is not better than. I'm pretty sure TJ Watt has an upcoming contract as well. So let me see. Pretty sure he's about to. Well, he signed 123 million. When was that though? That was this year. Was that this year? Yeah. Yeah, 123 million. So, like I said, TJ Watt signed for 123 million this year. Or was that last year? Yeah, it was this year. So, my point is, Michael Parsons is about to make more money than TJ Watt. And I personally don't think he should make more money than TJ Watt. But it's the Cowboys and they're about to pay top dollar. And so it is what it is. And that's why Jerry Jones came on TV and said what? He said, I'm tired. Jerry Jones came to the media and basically said, I'm tired of paying players to the highest, making them the highest paid player in the league, and we're not producing. The Cowboys are constantly a first round exit. They're not producing, or they don't make the playoffs. So with that topic, I agree with Jerry. He said he's tired of, he had to pay CeeDee Lamb record-breaking money. He had to pay Dak Prescott record-breaking money. And they're still first-round exits. So I'm with Jerry on that statement. And even though Jerry said that, he's about to go out there and pay Micah Parsons record-breaking money, and he's going to have to, or Parsons is probably going to try and find another team. There's going to be a lot of drama. So, Jerry is stuck with these players that he keeps having to pay, make them the highest salary in the league. And I kind of understand where Jerry's coming from with that, because they haven't produced. Well, as a team, they haven't produced. Individually, these players are producing, and that's why they're worth so much. They have not put it together as a team yet to get anywhere. Let's wrap it up with some NBA real quick. Jonathan Kuminga, and along with some other restricted NBA players, have not been picked up or re-signed by their teams. And just in case you don't know what a restricted free agent is, an unrestricted free agent means that you can shop around with any team and go wherever you want. A restricted free agent means you technically can't. A restricted free agent means that another team can make you an offer, but if the team you currently play for matches the offer, you cannot leave. And that is a restricted free agent. So another team has to make you an offer, and then the team you play for has to say, we aren't matching that, and then you can leave. That's how restricted free agency works. There are 4 players, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Jonathan Kuminga, and Cam Thomas, are restricted free agents. And right now it is not good to be a restricted free agent because teams do not have money. All teams are paying mega contracts. There's this new apron thing. I'm not going to get into that because who the hell can explain that? But we need Brian Windhorst. But they got this new apron thing going. So teams don't have money. And so when teams don't have money, they cannot bid high for restricted free agents. They basically just say we don't want them. And so Giddy, Grimes, Kuminga, and Cam Thomas don't have any suitors that can afford what they want. Kuminga wants this big, this long term contract, which he deserves. He's a good player, but no teams have the money right now to offer him that except for the Brooklyn Nets. And who the hell wants to go there? Nobody. So no teams have any money except for the Brooklyn Nets. And since no teams have any money, the teams these guys play for don't have to give them anything. See how that works? So Golden State is playing no one else is giving you nothing. So here's what we got for you. They don't have to match it if no team is throwing out anything to match. And so Golden State has offered Kuminga basically 8 million, 7.9 million, so 8 million. And so that Kuminga wants more, and he wants more years and more money. But they don't have to give it to him. And so right now, a bunch of restricted free agents are waiting on. These are called qualifying offers. Giddy's is 11 million. Grimes is 8.5. Kuminga's is 8, and Cam Thomas is a 6. So they either have to take this money, or they just remain a strict restricted free agent and not play this season, and they're not going to get paid because no other team is going to pick them up and pay them more money. And that's the leverage a team has with restricted free agents. Take this, what we put on the table, or take nothing. And so, if they take the qualifying offer, then they can become an unrestricted free agent next year and then go look for their long-term offer, which is probably the best deal. Right now, no team is going to pay these guys a gigantic amount of money. So the best thing is to just take the qualifying offer and then free up your time for next season, 2026 season, and then you can go out and shop around as you please. Just play one more year. That's all I'm saying. Play one more year. Like Cam Thomas probably doesn't want to be on the Nets any longer. I get it. But play one more year, and then lots of teams are going to be lining up at the door for Cam Thomas. Kuminga, play one more year, and a lot of teams are going to want Kuminga. Josh Giddey, the Bulls aren't going to let him go anywhere. So they're just not going to pay him more until they need to. Quentin Grimes, he's decent. I don't know how many teams are going to be lining up to pay him a big contract. He'll get his money. But Cam Thomas, Kuminga, and Josh Giddey, those are big ticket. Those are guys who teams are going to line up to get. And they're all restricted free agents, and they're probably going to end up playing for the same teams they're already on. No team is going to swoop out and give them a big contract and pick them up this year. They'll do it next year when they have the option to leave, and then teams will line up. We're going to end this with, because we're already at 23 minutes, which is, I guess, not too bad. I always get parried over my podcast goes to 20 minutes, but a podcast should be 20 minutes. I think some people's podcasts are like an hour. That's too much talking, man. This isn't Sports Center. I love talking about sports with y'all, but the hour-long podcast that people do, I don't see how they do it. I'd fall asleep after an hour. A whole hour of talking about sports. I mean, I guess I think that the attention spans of people nowadays are short, and they want you to give it to them in 30 minutes or less, and that's what I do. The Yankees MLB trade deadline, just a couple teams and what they need. The Mets need center field, and the word is that they're interested in Luis Roberts on the White Sox, or Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles for a left-handed bat. Luis Roberts to the Mets would be a good right-handed batter, really good one. The Mets are also interested in a starting pitcher. Merle Kelly, maybe from the Diamondbacks. Seth Lugo from the Royals. Dylan Cease from the Padres. They need another starting pitcher for their rotation. And the Mets are also interested in a center fielder. And Luis Roberts would be excellent in the middle of that lineup with Soto and Pete Alonso. Also, just to go over what has already happened, the Rays just got Danny Jansen. Not that that's a big deal. The Tigers got Chris Paddock to go on the lineup for pitching. Um, let's see what else is good on here. Ahmed Rosario, the right-handed batter, went to the Yankees, and Ahmed is great at hitting lefties. So when they're facing lefty batters and they have to sit their lefties out, Ahmed will destroy a lefty to pieces. Randall Grichuk has went to the Royals, who that guy's been on every team in the league. The Yankees got Ryan McMahon last week. McMahon, he's a power lefty bat, but that guy can't hit for average to save his life. Every time I check McMahon's average, it's like 215, 220. Now, power-wise, he'll give you 25 home runs, 20 home runs or something. But that guy can't. Maybe his average will increase on the Yankees. But on the Rockies, that guy couldn't hit for average to save his life. I'm actually not a huge fan of him because if he's not hitting a home run, he's generally not doing much. But I think he has had some pretty nice hits since he's been to the Yankees. And then probably the biggest one so far is the Mariners got Josh Naylor, which I think is pretty good. The Mariners didn't have too many good lefty bats in that lineup. You got JP, and then you got Cal Raleigh, who's a switch hitter, and you got JP Crawford, who is a lefty. Besides them, I mean, you got Rodriguez, and then you got Rosarena. Those are righty bats. There wasn't a whole lot of lefty goodness in that lineup besides J.P. Crawford. So adding Naylor puts a whole bunch of lefty power in there. Naylor cranks balls to outer space, and he hits for average. He's been hitting for close to 275, 300. So he's average and power. So that's a good pickup. That's probably the best pickup out of everything so far that I've seen is Naylor going to Seattle. And it doesn't look like they gave up anything too much for it. I'm not going to go over everything else that's here. I will say that Eugenio Suarez, Suarez just got hit with a ball tonight on his hand and had to leave the game. But I think that he was one of the biggest trade pieces. Everybody's talking about where Suarez is going to go. I think that he could have went. There's a lot of places that he could have helped out. The Mets were possibly looking for him, and some other teams. Suarez could go to any playoff bound team. So Mets, Dodgers, even the Yankees. Suarez could go to any team that's on a mission to win, and I'm interested to see where he's going. But he just got hit in the hand with a pitch today, so probably gotta find out the outcome of that first. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. Super late night podcast, 28 minutes long, so it was late and long. How you like that for your ears? Now you get to listen in your car, in the while you're working out. However you do it, wherever you listen, just listen. I'm not me myself. I like to listen to all my stuff, on my phone or in my bedroom. This is my podcast room. But do however you do. We are on all platforms, baby. And thank you for listening. Like I said, we got 54 downloads so far on but people who are downloading the audio, they're actually downloading and listening and enjoying it. And then we need more subscribers on the YouTube page. So if you are listening, the YouTube page is 3-4-5 sports.talk. The little @ symbol is @Burb Jones on YouTube. So please subscribe. The YouTube's page only has 38 subscribers. If you are watching the video and still watching it after all this time, you can see it up there. Thanks for everybody. We out of here, man. I'm gonna get to bed. 3-4 of them. Here's the promo for you again. Bang, bang. We out.